Hi, investors. This is Michelle. Welcome to Stock Market Watch on June 7, 2016. In this video, I will give you a general idea of US and also Canada market, which includes fundamental analysis and technical analysis as well. Hope it could help you about your investment. Okay, let's see the US stock market today. For the US market, the S&P 500 and the Dow Industrial eked out modest gains Tuesday as the index cracked within striking distance of fresh highs, propelled by sharp rally in the energy sector. However, a slump in biotech weak on the Nasdaq compensate, dragging it into negative territory. So the S&P 500 closed up 2.72 points or 0.1 percentage at 2112.13, but finished well off its best level of the session of 2119.22 points. But the advance was sufficient for the large cap, which marked to log its best close since last July 22. The index is less than 1% off its record of 2,130.82 set May 21st, 2015. So the healthcare and the financial stock lead the decliner on the S&P 500, while the energy share rallied as oil price closed above 50 a barrel. And the Dow Jones rose 70.95 points or 0.1 percentage. It's the same with S&P 500 and closed at 17938.28 after briefly topping the very important position 18,000 for the first time since April. The blue chips touching the intraday high of 18,000 and 3.23. Okay, so for the Nasdaq, because the biotech is quite leading the Nasdaq declined 0.14 percentage. Let's go back to the chart. The S&P 500. So because the energy sector and the oil closed above the $50 a barrel, so today S&P 500 continue break through the Great Wall 2100 position. So today is definitely break out, but from the last candlestick we can see is only have the upper shadow line, don't have the lower shadow line. So that means it tend to increase, but most of people is sold out, just keeping selling the shares. That's why when it's closed, it's just back to the 2112. It's now the highest position 2119. So there is have a 7 points difference. The reason why we can see from the another indicator, one is the MCD, multiple color dragon. So you sell, they still have the bank profit money in, but didn't increase than the yesterday. And from the diverging expert, you also can find if the column is bigger, that means that the uptrend stress is quite strong. But when the column is getting small, that means the capital in is quite low. Still have a capital in, but quite small amount. So that's why they don't have the stress to close at 2119, just to close back at 2112. Okay. And after that is Canada market. And from the Canada market is quite clearly because the Canada main business is based on the source. The most source for Canada is oil, right? Because the oil close above 50, the most important position. So today Canada have a big increase. It's the rose the 98.45 by 0.63 percentage, and close at 14365.61. Let's way back to the chart. You see the reason why for the Canada today's candlestick they don't have the shadow lines. All increase is inside the body of the candlestick. The reason why is different with the S&P 500 candlestick. You see the money in is quite bigger than the S&P 500. And for the multiple color dragon, you can find out also this is profit money is much better than the S&P 500. So that is a very good sign from the technical analysis. And I think today the most important news is about the OU. And if you follow my video before, in my former video, I told you the most influence factor for the US market recent 1 year is the global economic and the oil price. So as today's oil price is just keep climb up and close at this is a WTI close at 50.41 US dollar a barrel. So that's why the S&P 500 keeping up, and the best sector is the energy sector. Okay. And for the energy, today I saw one video is quite interesting, so I will share with you. It's about the oil and the stock market and sector of energy.
Is now the time to buy energy, as we've been talking about so far in the show. Commodities King Dennis Gartman joins us for a very special appearance live here at the NASDAQ in the flesh. Dennis,
y'all will let anybody on the show these days.
Apparently. So, Dennis, what do you think about this move in oil?
It still wants to go higher. The term structure continues to look strong. We've watched the contango without getting too esoteric. Watch how the term structure functions. Watch how the front month trades relative to the back months. 6 months ago, that was very, very wide. It was telling you that you could store, that crude oil was bidding to go into storage. Now that term structure has completely changed. We've almost gone into a backwardation at some point, especially with the problems that occurred 2 weeks ago in Canada. That term structure has narrowed dramatically. You can't store crude anymore. Crude is actually not bidding to go into storage. It's a fundamentally strong circumstance. The trend is up. You can't fade it.
And it sounds like Yellen's on the sidelines, and I only bring that up because of the impact on the dollar and therefore the impact on oil. Does that factor in, or does that, in terms of your view of oil going to 60?
Yeah.
does it almost not matter at this point?
I think the trend is so strong at this point it probably wants to get there. Clearly the weaker dollar has benefited. The weaker dollar is having benefits upon all
Yeah, this part is quite important about the dollar's relationship with the oil.
commodity prices. Look what's going on in the grains. Very strange circumstance there. Look what's going on in gold. Very strong circumstance there. What's really interesting, Guy brought up a very good point. Watch the bond market. Here's the bond market. It refuses to break. It's staying very strong. It looks like it wants to break out. It's an interesting phenomenon where commodities are getting strong and the bond market's getting strong. We've not seen that before. It's an interesting circumstance.
But copper, you bring up copper, commodity, not all commodities getting strong. Copper led this rally. It is not.
It has failed lately.
Correct. So the question is, does copper need to participate in that same way? Again, it let us out, and now it's failing out.
I'm not sure because the other base metals, tin is actually doing quite well. Aluminum is doing quite well. Copper is the only one that's not doing well. It's an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
Aren't you concerned, the same way that we were all around this desk and we were talking with you when you were remote, how quick it goes from a glut to now all of a sudden we're chasing again. When we start to see rigs come back on, we opened up the show talking about how companies around $50 that break even basically. But if we rally a little too much, you're going to see that glut back on, not in a month, in a week.
The problem will be you don't need many new rigs to come on to have a glut. We now can drill one hole and drill 18 different pipes out of it. We bend the soda straw in a number of different ways. We don't need nearly the number of rig counts to get production to increase that we used to a mere 2 and 3 years ago.
It doesn't take time, though, to bring the workers back online? I mean, I'm not saying that we won't get into a glut situation if we go much above 50 at all, but it's not like turning the faucet on.
2 months?
2 months, okay.
2 months.
So
I mean, you can bring people
But I think
back very quickly.
the price
Look at how
reacts
quickly
quicker.
they're bringing people back into Canada from the fire circumstance. They're getting them back in weeks. It can happen very quickly.
Okay, I want to go back to what you said about the bond market being so strong and commodities being so strong. You called it interesting. What does that decode that in Dennis Gartman?
You always look for anomalies.
What does that really mean?
Well, it's an anomaly. Normally, if you see grains rallying, if you see wheat rallying, if you see the crude oil rallying, if you see gold rallying, you see the bond market weakening. Now it's not. What does it mean? I'm not sure. It's just an interesting phenomenon that is unusual, different, and it doesn't normally happen. Something's taking place.
Does it give you a bad feeling or a good feeling?
It gives me an uneasy feeling.
Uneasy. Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Well, I mean, Dennis, in the 90s, there was one report that we used to wait, everybody used to wait for. It was a money supply report. And we don't
Remember on
talk,
Thursday afternoon.
and nobody talks about it anymore. But if you want to really make this thing as simplistic as possible, as money supply continues to go up, so does every other asset that people are chasing that money with. And that means they're chasing in the bond market and they're chasing in the equity market, despite what I think are excessive valuations.
So you're saying connecting the dots.
Connecting
what
the
you're saying,
dots to answer, try to answer, and I'm not saying
asset
that's,
prices.
I think as long as money supply continues to rise, you're going to have these anomalies take place.
Where's the money go to?
Where does it go to?
Where does it go to? It goes to the bonds, it's going to equities, it's going to commodities. There's this excess supply of money in the system, and it's making and it's chasing everything.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Does this ever end well?
It will end. It will end.
Inflated assets imply that it will correct itself and that there will be pain on the other side.
Here's 42 years of experience. It will end when it ends and not a moment before. How it ends is probably not pretty, but if you fade it, if you try to anticipate when it's going to end, it's probably going to go in your face a lot longer than you think possible.
I just got that in the middle of a fortune cookie this week.
It
was the same. It was a huge cookie. It was a huge cookie. It's more like a scroll.
It was a
An
scroll.
Italian fortune cookie.
Dennis, thanks for coming by. Always good to see you. Dennis
Always good to be
Gartman
here.
of the Gartman Letter.
Okay, so that is the video from the CNBC about the oil, energy, and the commodity. And I will answer one question from one ordinator write email to me. They asked me for the Tesla. They want to ask me I should buy this stock or not because today just increased a lot. Actually, it's quite simple if you have our software. And from the signal, there is a quite easy one. It's called a right and white circle. So that playing rules is quite simple. The first red circle appear is the buy point, and the first white circle appear is the sell point. And from the Tesla right now is already tell you to buy it on May 18. On May 18, it's not today. Just if they didn't turn to white, you just keep this. And also from the capital part, you also can see from the multiple color dragon, the the green one, the block money, just keep lower and lower. You can see from the MA of the blue line is the moving average of the grain chips. So it's just to keep lower and lower, and so there is a golden cross here. The golden cross is the purple line. The purple line is the moving average of the profit money. So when the purple line just up towards breaks through the cross the blue line, so this is also a good sign. That means at that point, the people who earn money is more than the people lose money in this share at that point. So for this one, it's already told you to buy at here. But for now, we if you said tomorrow I should buy it or not, so it's not the first red circle already. It's already like almost 1 month, keeping almost 1 month. So you need to see what's the resistance for the Tesla right now. For the resistance, we also have one indicator called the blue bars. We call it is chips distribution. From the chips distribution, you also can see it very clearly. The resistance is here, so that price will be the 246. And right now, today's price is close at 232. So this is just $13 space to have the increase. As when he increase it to the 246, will get the resistance. But the only chance he can break the resistance is about the money. If the profit money is getting in through, because from the division expert at the third window, you can see it very clearly. Today, just the gray means money flew out. The red is means money flew in. And from today, they have money flew in. So if the money keep flowing in, so that will be have a chance to break through the resistance. But for now, the resistance is quite strong for the Tesla right now. Okay, so that's is my answer. And I also have a good news for you, because the stock hospital is opening. We will do the body check for ourselves at the hospital to make sure we have our body is in a health level every year. But have you ever think about to check your stock to see your stock is health or is getting sick already? If you don't know the health situation of your stock, how come you will know this stock will increase or drop down? So here is the solution. We open our stock hospital. So the time will be every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the hospital address is the 238 room. This is the room number at the second floor, and the street is Westminster Highway, Richmond. It's very easy to find out. Just face to the public market. If you find the public market, you just go to the white maybe 200 meter, you will find our building. It's just a 2-floor building. Okay, so I will be your doctor to check with your stock situation. It's a good health, you can keep it or you can buy it, or already get sick, you should sell it as soon as possible to stop your loss. Okay, but it's only 1 hour, so you need to do a reservation. How to do the reservation? You just send the email to me, or you leave a message after my video, or leave a message in my Facebook. And my Facebook is Initial Stock Market Watch Michelle Wang. So it's SMW Michelle Wang. Okay, if you have any question or you're not in the Vancouver or Richmond or Surrey, you also can email me your stock code. I will reply you by email. Okay, that's it for today. I hope to see you tomorrow at my office. Have a good night. Bye.